We should talk about the history of the color purple because Oprah doesn't like to admit this, but I believe she's the godmother to color purple. I only heard about it because of Oprah. Most people I know heard about it because of Oprah. Because you literally you went to the bookstore, you read about it in the paper.
Read about it in the New York Times, there's a review.
And then you went to the bookstore.
And got all the copies of the book, 8
available
copies at the time.
Then you walked down the street and were
Handed
passing
them
them out.
Yes.
I wonder what people thought about you, because you were still Oprah then. They knew who you were, right?
No, I was
They didn't know
local.
who you were?
That was 1985.
So you were a local
I was
anchor.
local.
Okay, so
in
they knew
Chicago.
you were in Chicago.
Yeah.
But the point is, that's how passionate you felt about it.
I would
that
just
you were
stop
handing out
somebody
to
and say,
strangers.
"Excuse me,
Yeah.
excuse me, sir, have you read The Color Purple?" And people like, "What? What?"
And I would have taken and gone, okay, thanks. I'm not sure I would have read it because your passion for it was so infectious. I said, I have to read that book. And then I remember you said, guess what? One of the characters' name is Harpo. You know what that spells backward? I went, no, what does that spell backwards?
It's
Honest to
Oprah.
God. She goes, it's Oprah.
It's Oprah.
That was
Yes.
the first time I heard that. She said, you said, you know what Harpo is spelled backwards? I had never even thought about that until that day. And you said, this is meant to be. And then you said, I don't care what role I get. Keep in mind, you had never acted before.
Well, I wasn't even trying to get a role. I was like looking at, I thought I could be script girl or
You said
water
best
girl.
boy.
Best boy.
There was a thing that said best boy.
At
and
the
Oprah
end of
said,
every
yeah.
film, there
Of
was
the
a credit
credits.
that said best boy, and I thought, well, that's the last thing on the credit. If I can convince somebody that I should be the best girl rather than the best boy, which now I know I couldn't have convinced anybody because that's a form of electrician.
So you're at home minding your business. You get a call because you're on AM Chicago. Quincy Jones is in town.
Yes.
He sees you on TV and he says what?
He says to Reuben Cannon, who is the
Casting director.
casting director, call that girl. And so I get this call and they say, we'd like you to come and audition for a movie. At the time they said, it's called Moon Song.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I have not been praying for no Moon Song.
I've been praying for something called
The Color Purple. I've been praying for The Color Purple.
Because they did a code name. It was so
It's a
top
code name.
secret. Okay.
And on one of the coldest days of the year in Chicago, I remember it was so cold, they had the ropes out on the street so that
To hold on.
so
With the
people wouldn't be
wind.
blown over. And I went to audition, and the moment I walked in and read the
you
script,
went, ding, 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 ding.
it's The Color Purple. It's The Color Purple.
And it was a character for Sophia, who's married to.
Harpo.
And what does Harpo spell backwards?
Oprah.
Yeah, so we're thinking, okay, this is good.
This is a definite
I remember
sign.
when you called, that was so exciting. I thought, God, do you even know how to act? Do you even know how to act? Do you?
And so now it's like full circle, 40-something years later.
But Oprah, before you move on, so you acted, you get the role, that's a whole story there. You get the role, and
Yeah.
then you're nominated for
An Academy Award. And then my name, which was not on the poster at the time that we did the movie because I wasn't.
you weren't big enough.
I wasn't known enough, and I had gone to Steven. I said, Steven, I think you should put my name on the poster because people are saying I'm going to be famous. And he said,
Yes.
what people? And he said, famous doing what?
Yeah, because but you were local.
I had just signed the contract
To be
Guys,
national.
On the day that I had the fight with the mayor, when she hits the mayor's wife, on that particular day, I took off my coat and I went to sign the contract to do the Oprah show for
Yes.
syndication. That was a really big
This is
deal.
actually a good story.
Yeah.
This is actually, really, when you put it all in its entirety, I'm serious.
How much money do you think I made for doing that movie? You now know.
I used to know.
You don't remember?
I was going to say 20,000.
No, it was 35,000.
35.
35,000, which I thought at the time. And Jeff Jacobs.
But you would have done it for nothing.
I would have done it for nothing.
Yeah.
Jeff Jacobs was like, I'm going to negotiate. I'm going to get you 50. And I was like, please don't. Please don't ask for any more money.
Don't blow this for me. I'm
Don't
happy
blow
with
it. I'll do it for
35.
nothing. I'll do it for
Yeah.
nothing. So that's how you know you really love something, when you
Yes.
really would rather, you would do it even if nobody was paying you
But
to
look
do
at
it.
how that changed your life in terms of you and Quincy became lifelong friends.
Yes.
You and Steven Spielberg became lifelong friends. I mean, that was such a unit, that movie. I got to go to the set. Number one, I was so enthralled that my best friend was in a movie with Quincy Jones and Steven Spielberg.
But no, the
And
other
I got
thing,
to go on the set. I'll
the
never
biggest
forget
thing that
it.
that movie did for me, was it changed the way I saw what work looked like. And I forever, first of all, when I first went to visit Steven Spielberg, when I got called out to audition, I walked into his studio. He owned his own studio. I
Yeah,
didn't
and
know
you
you
thought
could
that was-
own
yeah.
your own studio. So that's where that first idea came to myself.
First seed planted, ding. Oh, this is a funny story. Your first day on the set, because we come from a news background, you know, in movies, you're not supposed to look at the camera.
Yeah, as we're looking at the camera.
As we're looking at the camera right now. In movies, they don't like you to do that. So your first day on the set and you're reading, and tell that story.
No, the first day on the set, I was shooting
You're
the
shooting your
scene
scene.
with Whoopi. And I come in and I look for the camera because my whole life I've been working in TV. So I come in and I go, "How you doing, Miss Seeley?"
To the camera.
To the camera. And Alan Davio goes, "Cut, cut, cut. What is she doing?"
Alan's a cinematographer, yes.
And Stephen runs out. He goes, "What are you doing?" I was just saying my lines. He goes, "Seeley's over there." "You're not looking in the camera. Seeley's over there."
But Oprah, that sounds like one of those rookie mistakes. It's
It
like when
was.
somebody is doing the news for the first time and they're asking somebody the question, but the microphone's held down here. We just
Yeah,
go, you know,
I've seen that a couple times.
we need you to talk into the microphone. Okay, so the movie's made. You're a smash. You're nominated for Academy Award. Your name. I remember sitting in the theater waiting for the credits to roll so we could see Oprah's name in the credits. That was very exciting.
Well, this is how you want a best
Very
friend
exciting.
that's as happy for you.
Oh, I was
as you
so
could be for you.
excited.
She
Yes.
was actually more excited than I was. I was excited
You
to
were
get
excited,
it,
yeah.
but everything that came after was just a big bonus for me. The movie is made, and here's the exciting thing. It is a reimagined version of what you've seen. It doesn't take anything away from the original Color Purple at all.
No.
And I would have to say, I think it's a little more joyful. And I think that the Mr. character, now played by Coleman Domingo, and Harpo, played by Corey Hawkins, I think those, particularly Mr., is a little more developed. You get to see that he's not just one all bad human being.
But what was it like for you? You're on the set now. You're the EP, one of the EPs, shooting the movie that you did. Now it seems like you were a child at the time, even though you were like 30-something.
Yeah, but it feels like a baby.
But it feels, it does. It feels like you were a baby. So now you're on the set shooting the movie that really meant so much to you, and now fast forward close to 40 years later, here we are again.
Well, you know, I just felt.
I think that's
This is
very
the
cool.
thing. I felt nothing but joy for Danielle.
Yeah.
I mean, I just felt so great being able to literally pass the baton to her, and to know that she was now taking on this, what has become an iconic role, and making it her own. And I felt, you know, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel. Like, you know, a lot of people don't like their records broken or don't want other people to come. But I just felt.
You were never like that.
Yeah, but
you
I
were
just
cheering her on.
I was just feeling so much joy that now this cycle for her begins. You know, that it begins anew for somebody else.
This
So,
iteration's coming out at a theater near you.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. Get your
I know what
purple
we'll
on.
be doing.
Get your purple on.
I know what we'll be doing Christmas Day. How about you? See you at the theater.